praises and the honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Also, I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Also, shalom to you brothers that's laboring in sincerity, in truth and sound doctrine. And I wanted to touch on a video just through the spirit. You know, it's no target to anyone, but in my few years in this truth, you know, things that I've seen. Okay, and I wanted to touch on that, and I'm going to probably title it competition, comparing, and parroting. Okay, and the reason why I'm going to go on that, because if you're not careful, you can wind up like some of these guys who start looking at the apostles of Great Millstone like they're just men that just woke up last night and found out the truth, not men that have experienced the truth. Not only that, not even looking up to the leadership of brothers, not just in your camp but in other camps. Okay, the jealousy and the competition. Now, nothing wrong with a little competition if you're trying to get up on the level of that brother, or the brother's trying to help you up on the level. But the minute you start becoming envious of that brother's level, then that's when you're being wicked. Okay, and the reason why I say that, because this truth is like a fine-tooth comb, okay, or well-oiled machine, and everybody have offices. Okay, there's lanes, there's offices, there's lanes, there's talents, there's particular places that you should be. You know, the foot doesn't do, not supposed to do what the arm does, but there's nothing wrong with building you up to help be better the arm, okay, or the arm to help better the foot, to help build yourself up in that body. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, I gotta get a scripture. This is Galatians 6, okay, 6 and 4. It says, "But let every man prove his own work, okay, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself, okay, alone, and not in another." So when the apostles of Great Millstone give a breakdown, it's not to abandon the breakdown, but when you see the breakdown and then you go out on the hedges and you just break it down and you parrot the breakdown, which is nothing wrong with repeating the breakdown, sometimes it's better to expound a little deeper in that breakdown, okay? Because then now you're spewing out things that you've heard, but you never actually understood, okay? And that's what you see sometime, man. So then what happens is you become comfortable in your listening of breakdowns without going to do the nitty gritty, the dirty work, so to speak. Okay, that's being lazy. Okay, now like I said, there's nothing wrong with the breakdowns, but it's expounding on the breakdowns. You're keeping it simple. You're not trying to go off and make some new breakdown. Okay, I'm not imposing that, saying that we should do anything like that. No. Okay, and in some instances you read it, you move, you read it, you move, and you keep it moving. When the apostles break these breakdowns down, they're correct. But if you're parroting, that's all you're going to do. You're not going to get a deeper understanding of that breakdown, and that's what I'm getting at. Okay, this is Galatians 6 and 5. For every man shall bear his own burden. Now that doesn't mean, you'll hear another scripture says, bear ye one another's burdens. Okay, this is in this truth, man. When you're doing your works, you're doing your thing. Okay, that's why brothers do videos alone. Some brothers do other videos. I've seen various brothers with their own talents and doing their own things. Okay, I could just name a handful of guys that you see throw up videos that's in the spirit, that's teaching. They on fire. They taking these breakdowns. And I told another brother in the camp, you know, I saw him break a scripture down, and I said, hey man, that's, you know, I looked at it a little different, but I said it does compare. It does roll with the breakdown. Okay? And I'm not advocating doing your own thing. Just, the scripture says, seek your salvation. And it's through the salvation, a part of that is going to be the brotherhood as well. It goes on to say, let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things. Okay? Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whosoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So if you come into this truth saying, well, in my mind, I'm going to be the top guy in Israel, and that's why I did the video the other day. You see these guys that come into the truth, they start thinking they're on some new level, and they actually get on a level. But then they start abusing that power, and then they start thinking they're better because of all the, the parroting, or because they studied and they got on this new level, but they never remained humbled, man. In their whole mind, in their own conscience of thought, they was never about building the body. They were the bodybuilders that were just pumping up the arms. They didn't care about the legs. They didn't care about the chest. They didn't care about the abs. All they cared about was the arms, man. They had no love for the rest of the body. We seen niggas, man. Niggas who have done this. And why have they done this? These guys stand out. These guys that want to be the super breakdowners, man. These guys that got all the answers, that pull all the scriptures. You got to watch guys like that, man. They pull the same scriptures and they got these breakdowns, but you know what? They have no respect for order. Or they look up to man so much that they have forgotten about the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Or they never even considered Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua in the first place, man. Okay? And that's why these guys get what they get. Okay? Verse 9. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of his flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. So if you in this thing for the true spirit's sake of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, you're spiritual. But if you in this thing to look like a superstar on the corner, okay, or look like the main man in the video, that's a carnal way of thinking. I don't do videos to try to make myself look better, okay? I do it to try to reach the elect. And sometimes you throw the little advertisements and little funny things in there to get attention. It's really about keeping it simple, but it's just my style of spirit, okay? Everybody has a different particular order of the body that they resonate from, okay? Goes on to say, well, let's go to Romans 12 and 4. It says, for as we have many members in one body, okay, and all members have not the same office, okay? And that's what I was going into. If you are good in history, okay, stay good in history. Build yourself up in other things, but don't abandon the history, okay? Don't abandon the history trying to be better. Don't abandon the history trying to do something else. If you're a scripture man, stay scriptural. Stay scriptorial, but don't abandon it. Try to build yourself up elsewhere in other avenues as well. And this is all about the body working together to build one another up, man. That's what it's all about. Now, again, this is not no personal attacks on brothers, but all I'm saying is when you get these breakdowns, a lot of guys just want to parrot. And they just say, come on, that's it. No, man, sometimes it's more, it's more to the breakdown than what you see, more than meets the eye, so to speak. And in some instances, it's not, because you got some guys who will say they'll see the breakdown and they'll take it to some other level. They'll take it way far out somewhere else. But that breakdown that's being brought out can be expounded on. So if the apostles say, hey, brothers, brothers might want to do a breakdown on this chapter or that chapter, you can expound on it, elaborate on it a little more, man. You don't have to say everything the apostle said in an exact same thing. Okay? It's about learning and growing in yourself. Okay? Let's look up the word parroting. I didn't even go to the other dictionary, but it made a lot of sense. It says parroting says, this is the definition, a person who without thought or understanding merely repeats the words or imitates the actions of another. That says it right there, man. Okay, I'm going to read it again. A person who without thought or understanding. So when the apostle gives a breakdown or says something, you just write it down. Yeah, 70 AD, this happened, that happened. Well, go a little deeper into the 70 AD, man. Okay, find out a little more about it. Don't abandon the doctrine, but help build it. Okay, help strengthen it. You know, and hey, there's some things can go for myself as well. You know, when I first came into truth, that's why the truth grows, man. Was it St. John 16:13? He will guide you in all truth. Okay, howbeit the Yahweh Shem Yahushua going to guide you in all truth. When you first come in, man, it's a different ball game. It's all hype and glamour. But then after a while, man, as the scripture says, bitter, sweet, and then bitter. After a while, it gets a little deeper and things get a little thicker, so to speak. Okay, so then it's time to grow and move from there. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to go on and on about it. You know, I just wanted to go into that lesson a little bit, and then, hey, man, maybe some brothers who may not know this, you know, I'm sure a lot of brothers already know. Some brothers may not know and say, hey, well, yeah, I got that breakdown, or I see what the apostles are saying, and well, let me go into it a little more. Let me get a little more history on it. Let me look up a little more, and they encourage this, man. You know, and, you know, it's not about your lesson, beautiful lesson. You know, it's about a learning lesson. Okay. Anyway, that's my take on that. I want to say shalom.